All right, guys, welcome to the Real Talk Football TV Premier League debate show. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. On 1906 to bias. All right, we're going to go straight into it. Chelsea, absolute complete mess. Literally losing every week. Deep down, I slightly love it. Because to me, in my opinion, that they've disrespected the Premier League with all the money they've spent and all the players they've brought in and thought they can actually mount a title challenge. Who do you blame? Do you blame the chairman, Tod Boehly, or do you blame Poch?
To be
Personally,
fair,
at the top, no, it starts from the top, doesn't it? It's like my man's got money to spend, and I don't know, he's being advised. He's like got Trump advisors next to him or something to say, yeah, by everyone. And there's no pattern to it. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just that they're young, and forgetting that you need a bit of experience in a team when you're building up. They're just relying on young, everyone. Tying them up to 7 year. Come on, with the injuries and everything else, there's nothing on that pitch to say, I don't know, there's any pattern of play. He don't know. Pot don't know his team yet.
All right,
And the so-called injuries that they've got, come on, they've got enough to make 5 teams. So yeah, starts from the top.
All right. Don't you think every manager would love to have £400 million to spend on players?
If you look at the manager been spending all the money though.
But I think with Pochettino, before he came here, he would have had assurances who he wants, who they're going to buy. And even if he didn't have assurances, he wouldn't have known from the start what type of profile of players they're going to try and bring in. So if you're spending £400 million on players, I know there's a new players, new team, young players, rare tear. But Poch's reputation in the Premier League is high. Somehow people love Poch. I don't see the hype because he's had a great Tottenham side and won nothing. Kind of didn't win anything in Paris. So I think he's slightly overrated. But £400 million you've spent on players and it's their worst start in a season in 45 years. He has to take some of the blame because Tod Boehly's going to think, I've just gave you 400 mil to spend. You spend more money than anybody else. And you look worse than everybody else.
Arguably, like, they've had the easiest start out of everyone. They haven't really played no big hitters by yourselves, really. So, and it's a tough one. I agree with both of you in terms of I'm not a big believer in Poch. I didn't want him at United, and also the money's been spent just wrong. It just makes sense. You don't spend all that money and still lack a goal scorer. But there's also decisions that Poch has been making in certain games. Like Chilwell's been playing. I'm not sure where he's been playing, like left wing. Obviously, they have got injuries, so you will play that. But they've got injury-prone players. Like you can't count on people like these players.
Tobias, they spent 20. They've bought 20 players. You cannot scream injuries.
I mean, since he's been there, he's bought like 30 players. Yeah.
You can't scream injuries. I'm not having it. Sorry.
These 30 players. How many have been established? How many have Premier League proven?
None.
It's just mad. Like they're not even from the same sort of league in itself. These are just all over the world. Like this is crazy. Like there's Brazilians, there's people in the German league, French. Now these lot are going mad. I don't know what the
SFC.
I'm not sure, gosh. Like American owners, you can only they will spend money. Like Az has spent money, but he's been in the wrong places. So he's on a different level. But it's will it work out in the end? That's the question. And who's going to make it work? Problem is that they've brought in so many players and they haven't brought in a manager that is capable, like experienced enough to gel these players together. And like this is perfect for Mourinho. People will go, Mourinho, but mate, put Mourinho, give Mourinho a blank checkbook. Mourinho will build you a side.
Yeah, Jose will build you a side for 3 years. He is not using youngsters. He's not using youngsters. But that's what I'm saying.
Wait 3 years. But there's also an argument of the players that they've expected to bring something to the table, like the Fernandezes and the Mudryk.
Caicedo.
Caicedo hasn't played. It's hard to judge Caicedo as of yet, isn't it? But it's just a mess everywhere. But Mudryk hasn't performed. Enzo hasn't. He's looked okay. He's looked tidy. in areas, but I don't think he's dominated games.
Yeah, but I think these guys are very good players / average players. Like the money suggests that these are world beaters. But Caicedo's had 18 months in the Premier League. He's a good player. He's not a great player. Enzo Fernandez came from River Plate for 10 million. In one season, they spent over 115 million pound on him. So he's not a great player. He just had a great World Cup and had one good season.
He had half a
Modric,
season because he was
there
only
you go.
he bought him for what, 6 months, or Benfica.
There you go. Modric played 23 games, went for nearly 90 million pounds.
Is this a rich man's Brighton?
They got
you know
bare
what I mean?
wingers.
Because
They got bare wingers. Like, you must be turning up to training like, what the hell's going on? You just don't know who's going to get brought next.
And the thing is with them, they were trying to buy Elise from Crystal Palace. That's the best move.
Yeah.
That's the best move for Elise to say, you crazy. You think you're trying to ruin my career? I'm staying at Palace. Another winger. That would have been like the 8th winger. I just think that, to me, Tod Boehly looks like he's used a bit of arrogance where he thought he could buy his way through.
yeah,
And suggest that the Premier League says you can't disrespect the Premier League like that. You can't just bring players, like you said, all over Europe and put them together because you spent money and expect to win and challenge. It's not going to happen. You had experienced players like Kante still. You could have kept him for one more year. One who's gone Man City.
Kovacic.
They could have. Kovacic could have still been there. You know,
at least they'd one of the goalkeepers. What is Sanchez an upgrade on Kepa or Finger? You could have kept Aspilicueta.
I would be more scared if they had a manager with this setup that they've got now. I'd be more scared if they brought in a manager like Alonso to come in. Do you know what I mean? To work with the youths. Do you know what I mean? Alonso's doing well. He's doing well. He's still young. He's learning his craft and he's mixing up with the kids. And that's why I say with Pochettino, you know what you're going to get already. You know what you're going to get.
But the thing is, 1906, Pochettino is renowned for working with youngsters and making young players better. Like I said, in England, he is like the Messiah. You hear every pundit,
every big
player, they call him Poch's name. If Poch 18 months ago, if any of the top 4 clubs lost their manager, somehow he's always in the frame for a guy who's won nothing. So in England, they really
absolutely nothing. But what system is he playing? I can't see what he's playing. Is that injuries or is that? So I don't know. I have to give someone minutes because of their contract. I don't know what it is.
So basically, does he have to take most of the blame because they've spent so much money and spent over 400 million pounds? And if you look at the players that they've sold, I think the players who they've sold are better than the players they've brought in.
But again, how much?
If he's had a say in every buy,
how much choice did he have in terms of what was going on?
But choice or no, is
he just involved in the machine?
But choice or no choice, they spent 400 million pounds. So he would have known what was the actual plan before he signed for Chelsea. It's not like, here, Poch, we're going to give you a 5-year deal. And you're coming in, then going, blam, we've got 20 new players all over Europe. Now gel. So he must have known what was going to happen before the season started. So he's had a bit of arrogance where he thought he could get all these guys together, gel them quickly, and still challenge. Where basically they look like a mid-table side with average players who just spent a lot of money.
All I do know is you're rubbing your hands at playing Chelsea right now. I want to play them tomorrow.
Oh man!
Yes, please. Let's have the second game now.
And that's coming from me. Jesus, like, at least it's someone doing worse than us. I'm telling you, someone doing worse than us. Because this is just, it's a mixture of everything, man.
Wow.
This wouldn't happen on. Do you see Abramovich? Yeah, Abramovich had
not on his watch.
Yeah, if you look at the you can say whatever you want to say about Abramovich, but when it comes to like, he used to get it right. Let's say 70% of the time.
Yeah.
Like he used to just put it out the bag, and if he did make a mistake, he'd rectify it very quickly. It's either you're not playing, you're getting sacked. He just kept it moving. That's just how he moved.
Do you think Poch would have survived if this was under Abramovich now?
You stupid. Don't play about it. Yesterday. Like, Just even
clutch at the wheel
on the pitch, man. Like the Bournemouth game, I see he made some weird substitutions there. Like he's not making sense in anything he's doing.
All right, do Chelsea get in the top 10 at the end of the season? I'm being serious. I don't think they get relegated. But if you look at their players, who are they? I never heard of Nicholas Jackson, and I can see why.
Villarreal, you must have heard of him.
No, bro, I've never heard of Nicholas. I've never seen him play. I maybe heard the name, never seen him play. But what I've seen, I can see why he's at Villarreal. He's got all the attributes you want. One thing he cannot do is put the ball in the net. He does everything else. He's everything, like, he's fantastic. And that's what we're talking. I don't want to digress, but that's how strikers are these days. I think if you look at Nunes, same type of profile of player, do everything but not consistent. I was about to go to Højlund. Same type of profile, could do everything else, but when it comes to finishing, it's very inconsistent. Haaland's the only one, but I'm saying that's the strikers right now. The Nuneses, Højlund, Nicholas Jackson, very sometime-ish in their finishing. Will score goals in bunches, but not consistent.
But then you watch someone that's been disrespected, especially in the Premier League and throughout his career, even though he's nicked bag of moves last night, Morata, bag 2, and just like you'd scream for Morata right now.
You scream for Ivan Toney. We've been talking about this for years. You scream for
I'm
Ivan Toney.
I'm looking at the teams above Chelsea, and right now you can take out Fulham, Forest. I think they've struggled with Brentford. So when you say top 10, will they make the top 10? Looking at these teams right now, I think just about.
I'm being serious. I think top 10 is, to me, top 10's max, because they've got no players in their team that are proven in the Prem, bar Sterling and Chilwell. Reece James is one of the best fullbacks on the planet, but he's injury prone. So you're not going to see him. He's going to be there and thereabouts. But I look at everybody else. They're just guys who've never played in the Prem. And you expect them to gel. And they're at a club. They're at a club that is pressurized, where they've been, tell you the truth, Chelsea have been spoilt for 20 years. They've always won. So even when Chelsea are crap, they'll nick a FA Cup. Somehow they'll win the Champions League. And the next year they'll win the league. So they're spoilt now. So I'm telling you, so really they kind of need this type of reality check, because they haven't had really bad 4, 5, 6 years. Even when they've been bad, they've always won. They all nick a trophy. They always nick trophies. Always, even if they're bad.
I mean, what is it? They bought 5 Brazilians
in that mix. You seen any of them?
I ain't seen nothing.
I ain't seen nothing. Nephews or that. I don't know. They must be all sharing, living in bloody Silver's house or that. I don't know what's going on.
I'm not getting it. I just don't get it.
Their names as well, yeah. The only player is the one that they got from Villa. I like him, but he's injured. Chukwuemeni.
Yeah, but he's another one who's unproven as well. So
but he looks decent. When they're still in play, Sterling, it's the lack of personality within the squad as well. I know it's difficult for it to gel, but you don't expect Caicedo to come in and sort of galvanise the team. I think they're still relying on Thiago Silva.
I think, Tobias, you put Caicedo in Liverpool, we really challenge for the title. I think he's made the wrong choice. Definitely. You put him with I don't talk about Liverpool, but Szoboszlai and McAllister and him, we're going for the title. Like, nothing else is going for the title. He's killed himself. But yeah.
Has he done?
We'll see.
I think he got exactly what he wanted out of it.
Yeah, money.
Like,
paid. Big contract.
And you can't hate on that. So
no, straight.
He got that security. That 7-8 year contract and that big money. So
yeah, fair play to him.
They're going to be in trouble in a few years' time, man. I mean, trying to offload injured dead players that ain't making it.
You men would still take 80 mil.
Yeah, straight.
Come back round, you know what I'm saying? So he ain't lost nothing. If you just keep it moving if he gets that deal. Someone will always take him.
For real. All right, guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. When you come to the channel, just press the like button. It goes a long way. All right, Tobias, we go. No, not Tobias. We go 906. 906. Last word.
Pochettino, may it last. May it last forever.
Ten Hag in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We are Real Talk
my
Football
God.
TV. We are out.